Okay, so this is going to be my first devlog for all this nonsense. Oh my, look at this. Holy shit. Sorry, oh my god, every time I see it, I just can't help but lose my mind. It's cool, but I have to get rid of it. Easiest way to do that, honestly, is delete all the maps. But mainly, what I'm going to need to do is come in here and then delete all of this. But I am not going to do this in the editor because then that is going to take like 5,000 years. So what I'm going to do right now is I have it pulled up. I can just grab everything in here. Oh my god, if it will let me. And delete it. In doing this, I am deleting a little bit of my own progress. One of the rooms that I had built up myself, it's a sacrifice that has to be made. I can remember the layout of the room pretty easily. Well, it would seem that when I turned off my computer last night, it stopped the installation for Destiny 2, which sucks. I had deleted the game, so I need to reinstall it so I can have access to everything I need to get using Charm. So I guess I just have to wait for this then, and that sucks. Alright, now it's been a few hours and Destiny is fully installed, so I can get to business. It's been a little bit, and I have pulled out all of the files I'm going to need using Charm. So this is pretty much the data for the entire map. All of these are the static models, they're the terrain models right there, materials, shaders, textures. In here, we can see all of these configuration files, and those will just pop right into Blender. I've opened up Blender. I'm just gonna keep this random project and delete everything. And then I have the plugin. Oh, I don't apparently. What? All right. I ran into a annoying little issue. Something happened between changing in Blender versions and additions in the Destiny 2 importer add-on, so I had to re-import it into my Blender, add it again, so that I can use it, but now I should be able to just import everything I need to by, yeah, coming down here and importing everything. So I'll just delete my scene and then enter into here, and I'm going to just kind of test, I don't know, with all these. Then everything's gonna freeze for a little bit. And then here we are. Definitely worked. Everything is looking correct. Okay. I am just going to Control Z really quick. You know what? It's worth a crash just to see if it can do it. First, though, I'm gonna save. Remember to save. Just always remember to save. All right. Okay. And click the big red button. I am going to actually stop recording for a little bit and start recording when this finishes or when it crashes. We'll see what happens. All right, it has actually been a while, so let me get you up to speed. I took about a week gap. So that big upload, it didn't necessarily crash, but it didn't work either. So I had to upload everything bit by bit, which wasn't too big of an issue, but it was time consuming. Once it was all loaded in, though, I was able to run a script to instance everything. So anything that has duplicates, they could all just be kind of consolidated. I don't think I'm going to go into detail on instancing right now, but basically once everything was instanced, I packaged it up into USD files, and I started moving them into Unreal Engine. It was in Unreal Engine, though, that I started getting some problems. I was able to import the entire scene. This isn't the entire scene, but I was able to import the entire scene. But everything in the scene would be stuck under one root actor. And I literally ran in circles with Gemini for 6 hours looking for documentation or anything I could find to get around this and get all of the scene outside of that one single root actor and split it up into multiple actors like I have here. And I literally just could not find the answer. I'm sure using Gemini wasn't helping, but still, it was a massive headache. But I literally just started working again today, because that was last night, and within 10 minutes, I figured it out. So basically, I'm just going to run you through what I have to do for each of these USD files. First, I'm going to import into Level. I've already done the first one, so I'm going to grab the second one. I'm going to come down, put it right in my Cosmodrome file. I already have the settings I want for it. There we go. All right. As you can see, we have this root actor, and the issue with this, if it wants to load, is just the fact that everything in the scene, or everything in the import, is attached to that root actor, which that's just a problem because I can't really easily work with any of these, and I also can't make sure they're fully instanced. So that's obviously something I have to fix. Basically, what I have to do with this is I obviously have to go here into modeling. I have to go into Xform, and the idea is to use harvest instances. One of the big things that's important about that, though, is that not every one of the meshes in this import are duplicated. So not every one of them have multiple instances to consolidate. So not all of them are going to get pulled out of this root. All of the ones that are unique single meshes, they're going to be still stuck inside the root. Now, there's this option, include single instances, which fixes that. But it's grayed out. And for 6 hours, I could not figure out any other way around this to get everything out, or a way to get this ungrayed. But it turns out I just have to enable this. What this does is it kind of puts it into another root actor. It kind of basically goes through, instances all of the meshes that are attached to this, and then puts them under another actor, which seems kind of useless because I'm just making another root actor, right? There's not really much use. But I didn't really understand something, which I do now. So here we are. I just created this instances. And all I have to do to break them out is just disable that, click accept, and then here we are. All of those actors perfectly just ripped out of there for me to use. Oh my god, the amount of time I wasted for the solution to be this simple. So now I'm just going to delete that root actor. Then I can just shovel those away. And we have the next import set up. Now I just have to do this 5 more times, and I have everything imported into the Cosmodrome, which is just so fantastic. I do want to check, though, before I do that, I want to see if I have any duplicates of any assets. DE04. Ah, shit.
What?
We're flying to Philadelphia!
Oh, hell no!
That's
Oh, hell no!
Well, that's not good. Basically this means that because I imported all of these assets from 2 different USD files, there are still duplicates. I think that's something I'm just gonna have to sit around for a while and try to figure out. Alright, so now everything is imported. And this is what the Cosmodrome is looking like. In order to import everything without duplicates, I had to use this thing called the USD stage editor, where I would bring in as many parts of the map as I could, and then they would kind of share this cache where all of their assets would be shared, and then I could just bring them in. The stage editor could only hold so much of the map before crashing, so I did have to do 2 imports. So any assets which are shared between these 2 imports, they are duplicated, but that is a whole lot better than 500 or so assets duplicated 7 times across 7 imports. So I am pretty happy with that. I don't know if it was worth gruntling around to figure it out for 6 hours, but, you know, you win some and you lose some, I guess. Anyways, this is what the Cosmodrome is looking like now. Obviously, again, no materials, but we are actually in a better spot than ever before, because each of these, anything that is its own unique mesh type, can just be selected on its own without selecting a massive part of the map. And then since these are instances, I can just double click again, or I should be able to at least. Yep. And I can grab the single. Everything in this map is now something I can control and move around, so I can pretty easily just clean things up when I need to. I will say, though, I won't be doing that for a little bit. I think my next focus is going to be, first off, just kind of making sure there's no major issues. But then second off, I need to make sure that the collision is working. Because if I turn on player collision, obviously there's some confusions and it's looking... I don't think there is any real collision for the most part. Oh, there's that. I guess the ocean here just magically pops into existence from the astral realm, and that has collision. That's cool. Yeah, collision is going to be a big issue. I'm going to have to figure that out.